From Field Pass Hockey Southern Command, this is the Inside the SPHL podcast. Here is your host, James Hayes.
Welcome to the postseason episode of Inside the SPHL. The first round of the playoffs are in the books. Some of you might be a little excited. Some of you might be a little sad. There was an upset. We'll call it an upset. Knoxville went down to Roanoke, number 8, beating number 1. That was a pretty big deal. So I don't think a lot of people had that one in the books. We're going to go over it all here today, and you're going to have to just deal with me. That's what you get this week is me talking and rambling on about everything and anything inside the SPHL. Episode 27. Let's get it going. So, one sweep over the weekend. Evansville wasn't able to get a victory at home or in Huntsville over the weekend, and they lost 2-0. They lost 5-3 the first game to Huntsville that was played in Huntsville. And then they played at Swander Ice Arena for their home game. I don't know if I was better at this. I'd know why they couldn't play. I assume the Ford Center had some scheduling conflicts. This is the SPHL. They don't really hold arenas for outside the postseason if they don't know you're going to make it or not. So you can't blame the arenas for trying to keep bringing in that revenue. But hopefully the SPHL turns into a revenue machine for these places and we can start seeing these games, because the other game that was played not on home ice was Pensacola playing in Birmingham. And we'll get to that one here in a little bit. But the second game, Evansville's home game, they took it to overtime, played a good game. They played good games both times, but it was close. But in the end, Huntsville decided they just wanted to take this one to the house and go on to the semifinals. So let's break down that first game here real quick a little bit. This is probably going to be a short episode. There's not a lot to talk about, but the good thing is it's playoff time. But the not a lot to talk about, I guess I'm saying, is there's not a full league to talk about. We're breaking down series. So I'm going to try to keep it short and to the point to not bore you guys to death. But yeah, so Evansville came out and jumped out in the lead in that first game. Cameron Cook scored a goal real early on in that one, a minute 38 in, and nobody else was scoring the rest of that game or the rest of that period. And it wasn't until late in the second period that Huntsville finally got a goal, and that one was scored by Nolan Kaiser from the point on the power play. That is what they have been looking for. They needed Nolan Kaiser back. Getting him back in the lineup is huge. That rocket of a shot he has from the blue line, it's just something they were missing. They were really missing. And first game back, power play goal. And they really enjoyed it. Evansville, not so much. And then the third period got going. Evansville got the lead again. You're sitting there thinking, all right, I see you, Thunderbolts. You got this one. And then something clicked with the Havoc. I don't know. They just all of a sudden, they remembered that they score a lot of goals in games, and they went on a tear. Jacob Barber scored. Nate Pionk scored. Bauer Neudecker scored. Jacob Barber scored again. Jacob Barber's second one was in an empty net. Evansville again pulled the goalie at that point, because what do you got to lose? Is the playoffs, baby. I mean, it's a 3-game series. Everything matters, right? So they did it again. Cameron Cook was able to get his second goal of the night, but, I mean, there was just over 30 seconds left to go in that game. It wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't. And it was overall, it was a good game. Vorva played good. He stopped 14-17. Chris Jansen played great. That was a question mark I had coming into this, was will Chris Jansen be able to fill those shoes of Brian Billett? I know 5 goals came in. They put 46 shots on him. Give the man a break. Where was the defensive support, Evansville? Did you fall apart in the third period? You got to help your goalie out. They know that. Why am I telling them that? They're the hockey players. They're the professionals. They probably heard it from the coach that night. But anyways, that's how that one went. So that game went down. It was a weird game, I guess. It's always weird to me whenever games are so low scoring to get going, and then all of a sudden it just breaks wide open in the third period. Those are weird games to me. But nonetheless, the Havoc took a 1-0 series lead into Evansville to Swander Ice Arena. That's a cool name, by the way. I like that name. So let's break that one down. It was a lot closer of a game. Well, the other game was close too until the third period. But who else again? Cameron Cook, goal scoring machine in the playoffs. I'm a little disappointed we don't get to see him put his skills further into the playoffs, but there just wasn't all that other support, I guess. But Cameron Cook got the scoring started late in the first period. And once again, Evansville's taking that 1-0 lead into the second period. And then Derek, and I'm not going to say his name right, Osick, one or the other. I don't know. This is why I don't make fun of broadcasters when they get names wrong, because I am so bad at it. But anyways, late in the second period, boom, Evansville's leading 2-0. You're sitting there thinking, yep, Evansville is going to make this a 3-game series. They're going to travel back down to Huntsville, and they're going to make it happen. Rob Dare, 40 seconds into the third period, said, I'm going to cut that lead in half. Thank you very much. And then Nolan Kaiser, once again, decides he's going to score a goal. Man, they're happy to have that guy back. That was about midway through the third. No more scoring the rest of the way. Went into overtime. And remember, overtime in the playoffs, normal. We're not playing 3-on-3. We're not doing any of that. We're playing a full 20 minutes. It almost took that whole 20 minutes. I was sitting there thinking, is this game going to go into a second overtime? That would be cool. Extra hockey. Everybody wants that, except maybe the players on the ice. They might not want that. Legs probably get a little tired, but who knows? Seth Jones, a couple of years back in the bubble in the NHL playoffs, he played like 7,000 minutes in that overtime game against Tampa Bay. I think it was 7 overtimes, something ridiculous. Great game to watch. I didn't think it was ever going to end, but since it was in a bubble, they had to play the next game that was scheduled to play on that ice the next day. But you guys know that. Why am I telling you that? But anyways, Bear Gino. I had his name right before this. I prepared for this, and I already got it wrong. I'm not going to do him an injustice. We're just going to say Bear. Bear scored the goal. He nailed it. Power play goal. Can't give power plays late in the overtime. Evansville, come on. What are you doing? But 15:34 into it. There was just under 5 minutes left. Huntsville sends Evansville home. Well, they already were home. So Huntsville heads back to Huntsville, Alabama. That's a lot of Huntsvilles. I really need to fix that. And all of a sudden, the Evansville Thunderbolts are out of it. So my takeaways from that series are this. The Havoc really, really missed Nolan Kaiser. I think that's evident right there. The Havoc can come from behind. They've proved it all year long. So you can't ever count them out whenever they're down in a game. And I feel like even if they go down in a series, you still can't count them out. They're just playing really well. They played well against Evansville. And I thought that was a good matchup. Yeah, Billett was out. That's another takeaway. I think maybe Evansville could have got one game if Billett was in there. Who knows? Maybe not. Huntsville's they've been a wagon all season long, struggled a little late, but who knows? But those are my two key takeaways there. Evansville had a great season. You know, they were sitting in that 8th seed for the longest time. It was looking like Birmingham might end up catching them. All of a sudden, they took off. They closed the season out good, but they just couldn't close out the Havoc. It's tough. It's tough. And 3-game series are tough too, but I know a lot of people would love to see a 5 or a 7-game series, maybe 5. I haven't really heard a lot of people saying 7 games, but that's tough to do at this level of hockey. That's one of those things you got to remember. I mean, you already seen ice time. I mean, it's going to be tough to schedule all that ice. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that these arenas are banking on heading into spring and summer, and it's just tough to get the ice is one of the things, and then the travel. I mean, some of these teams are traveling pretty far. Huntsville to Evansville is not too bad of a drive, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'd like to see it as well. And maybe it would have went a little bit different. Who knows? Maybe Huntsville would have won it in 3. I guess we're never going to know that. We're not going to speculate. End of the day, Huntsville is moving into the semifinals. And congratulations to the Havoc. Well played in the series. And congratulations to the Thunderbolts on a great season. We will see you guys next year. So that one wasn't really an upset of any way. The next one, this is me saying it's an upset because this is the team I picked this year to win it all. And of course they didn't, but that's Fayetteville. I don't know. Did I pick them to win it all? I picked them to play Birmingham, but Fayetteville, the Fayetteville Marksmen. I was a little shocked that they lost that series to Quad City, but I wasn't a lot of shocked. Is that a thing? Can I say a lot of shocked? But Quad City came out in that one. So Fayetteville took that first game at the Tax Slayer Center. The road team won every game in this series. That doesn't even make sense. Maybe Quad City's booking some games at the Crown Coliseum to play Peoria in the semifinals because they seem to do so well there. But Fayetteville won that first one 3-2 at the Tax Slayer Center. And you're sitting here thinking, yeah, it's going to be tough for Quad City to pull off 2 wins in Fayetteville. It's a tough place to play. No, Quad City didn't care. They won 3-1 in game 2, and then they won 4-2 in game 3. Let me get some words fixed in my mouth here. So let's take a look. Let's break down that first game real quick here. So game 1, it started out with Fayetteville going up 1-0 with a Zach Reimers goal. Quad City tied it up later in that first period by Ben Duperall. Probably didn't say that name right. That was a power play goal. And Quad City's the team that commits a lot of penalties, right? Not really Fayetteville, but it happens. Second period, no scoring. So we're going into the third, and we're thinking this is going to be a close one, deadlocked. It's going to be tough to get that next goal. 30 seconds in, boom, Taylor Best scores for the Fayetteville Marksmen. We're like, all right, okay. 15 minutes in, a little after that, Logan Nelson. No, not the one that played for Birmingham last year. He's still in Rapid City. I don't know why I got to keep reminding you guys that. This is a different Logan Nelson. He's the Quad City Storm's Logan Nelson, and they love him. Scored a goal. Got it back within 1 goal. And then Drake Glover decided enough is enough, folks. And he scored a goal. It wasn't even a minute later. It was like 40. What is it? Let's see. Yeah, about almost 40 seconds later, Glover gets the next goal, the game-winning goal. It's all said and done. Quad City got 40 shots. Typical Fayetteville game in this one. Fayetteville only got 29 shots. They won it. Quad City outshot them, but Quad City learned something in this game. What did they learn? I don't know. I know Bailey Birkin played great, stopping 26 of 29. Brent Moran, 38 of 40. I mean, what more can you ask for from these goalies? That was a hard-nosed game by both teams. So we're going to travel down the road to Fayetteville, North Carolina, a game where probably some people were sitting in – not probably, I'm going to say it. A lot of people were thinking Fayetteville is going to close this series out. Storm aren't going to get anything here. The Storm just lost their first ever playoff game in the SPHL. They should be down and out, and they lost it at home, blah, blah, blah. That's not how it works. This game was hard-nosed, hard-fought, no goals in the first period. Drake Glover, the last guy to score a goal in this series, was the first guy to score a goal in this game. He scored it about midway through that second period, but Fournier had different plans about a minute and a half later, tied the game up. And we're like, okay, I like this. I like this game. We really do. A lot of penalties. There was some fights. There was a Fournier and Hoffman fight in this period, which is it's always weird to me to see fights in the playoffs. And that's because I guess you don't really see it a whole lot in the NHL and the AHL and stuff. And I might be full of it on the AHL one. It's been a while since I've watched AHL games. But it's just kind of it's always something that, I'm not used to seeing in the playoffs, but it happened. But so we go into the third period, deadlocked. Fayetteville wants to close this series out. They do. They're sitting there. That's what they're talking about in the locker room. Let's just get the next goal. Let's close this thing out. Well, friend of the show, Shane Bennett, he probably had that conversation in the locker room with the Quad City Storm as well. And he did get the next goal, the go-ahead goal, 1:45 in. Another early period goal. We're seeing a lot of those coming out of the locker room hot. He got that one. That was the game winner. And then Logan Nelson, don't do it. Nope, he's not that Logan Nelson. All right, I'm done. That joke's over. It's not even funny. None of you guys are laughing. I know. I'm sorry. I just lost 7 listeners from that too, so now I'm down to 3. But he got the empty netter. Sealed the deal with 29 seconds to go. We got ourselves a series. We are going to be back at it at the Crown Coliseum for a decisive Game 3. And what a game it was. It started out with Quad City saying, we are going to win this thing. They went up 2-0 quick with a Taylor Price and a Tristan Thoreau goal. Brian Moore brought them back within one before the first period ended. That's a lot of goals scored in the first period for this series. And then second period, Nick Mangone, he ties the game up. So all of a sudden, once again, we got ourselves a game heading into the third period. That is what I'm talking about. We're looking for it. Who's going to be the hero? Well, it happened to be Ben Dubraw. He got both goals in the third period for Quad City. He gave the Quad City Storm their first ever playoff series victory in franchise history. Way to go. It wasn't just him. It was the whole team. There was a lot of good stuff in there. But Fayetteville didn't get a lot of shots off in that third period. They got 6 shots in the third period. Quad City locked things down. Did they maybe play Fayetteville style of game in the third period? Maybe. Nonetheless, Quad City was the better team at the end of the day in this one. This game was close. There wasn't a lot of penalties in it. It was a lot closer. And then let's look at some goalie stats real quick. So Bailey Birkin, the guy who's been up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down all season long, he stopped 28 of 30, played real well. Brent Moran, 32 of 36, still played well. I still say the Fayetteville Marksmen not probably, this is my opinion, so I don't have to say probably. The Fayetteville Marksmen had the best goalie tandem in the SPHL this year. Doesn't take them out of the first round, unfortunately for them, but Quad City, congratulations to moving on to the second round in your first appearance. Let's see if you can take it all the way. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's that series. So Quad City is going to play a familiar foe when we go into the second round in Peoria. It's going to be an interesting series. 2 teams that are already sick of playing each other. Now they got to do it in the playoffs. But hey, it's going to be fun. All fun and games. But yeah, let's move on to the stunner of the weekend for everybody except Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs fans and the team, because they believed in themselves. The fans believed in the team. Probably nobody else did. I'm not going to lie. Love the Rail Yard Dogs. Had Travis Armstrong, Mitch Stewart, Mac Jansen on here. Got nothing bad to say about the organization or the players, but I just didn't think they had it in them to beat the Ice Bears. And you know what? They didn't care what I thought. They didn't care what you thought. They went on and did it. Knoxville took it to them on that first game, though. They beat them 4-1. It was one of those games that it was weird because Knoxville got outplayed in that game. It was really weird how it worked out. So Timofeyev got a goal in the first period, and then Ballant got another one in the second period, and then Balsamo got one on the power play. Timofeyev got an empty netter. He's the king of empty netters. And then Mac Jansen got one, late in the period, and it was weird, though, because I really feel like Knoxville was outplayed in that one, and they just got some bounces to go their way. I don't know. I don't know how any way other to explain it. I think I explained it better when it was fresh in my mind. If you want to go to fieldpasshockey.com and read my write-up about that game one, because it was something else. But Knoxville got the job done, and that's what good teams do. And Roanoke was they pun intended. I got this one. Roanoke left with their tails between their legs. You'd think so, but no, they didn't really care. They didn't care. I mean, they didn't. It shows. It was a good game. It was fun. Fun was had by all. And it was a home game for Knoxville. The next game was over in Roanoke. So this was one of those series where they didn't front load them or back load them all. It was mixed in the middle. I like that. I liked how they went to Roanoke. Roanoke took it to the Ice Bears in this one. 5-1. They beat them. They were just all over them. They scored the first 5 goals. Nick DeVito in the first period. Travis Armstrong got one in the first period. Garrett Sarges got one in the second period. We're on 3-0 going into the third period. Just sitting here thinking, Knoxville, what's going on? You guys got, all this going for you, and it's not. Brant Sherwood scores a goal early in the third period, and then Sargis gets a second goal early in the third period as well. Jared Nash got one late for Knoxville, but it was too little, too late. That was something else. That was just it was a beatdown. That game really was. Jimmy Paretta got chased in that one. They brought in Kristen Stead. This is another team that has a really good goalie tandem, but for whatever reason, Roanoke has just found something here at the end of the season. Sammy Bernard, I kept saying Raudebusch. I was thinking Raudebusch would play, and I don't know why. Bernard's kind of taken that number one job towards the end of the season. He played phenomenal in this game. I don't know what else to say about it. It was something else. The Leonard brothers playing each other. This was the second game. In the first one, Sean Leonard got chased from the game for a penalty. It was a good game. So we're heading back to Knoxville for game 3. I don't feel like anybody really thought Roanoke was going to go into Knoxville and win another game, except Roanoke and their fans. Like I said, I don't know why I keep repeating myself. But anyways, they went in. Sargis, he's a goal-scoring machine. He scores early, 3:37 in. Roanoke's up 1-0. Mac Jansen scores about a little over a minute later. So it's 2-0 in the first period. All of a sudden, Knoxville is on their heels. Timofeyev gets a goal late in that first period. And so we're back to a 1-goal game. You're thinking, all right, Knoxville can recoup, do their thing, come back in this one. But Knoxville didn't get a lot of shots off in that first period. They got that 1 goal off 7 shots. It was still kind of it was low. Second period, Nick Ford gets a goal about midway through. 3-1. Knoxville is looking at elimination in the second period. They play a little better defensively. They weren't letting Roanoke get a lot of shots off, but one of the shots they got off counted. They made it count. Third period, locked things down. Knoxville couldn't get anything. There wasn't even a lot of penalties either. McVeigh got called for a hooking penalty about 10 minutes in, 9:46. So yeah, about 10 minutes in. And Roanoke didn't convert on that power play. No goals scored in the third period. Wasn't for a lack of trying. It's just Knoxville was shut down by Roanoke in those last 2 games. And like I said, I really feel like Roanoke outplayed Knoxville, but they didn't get the bounces to go their way. That's been the story of their season. So it was nice for, Roanoke to see them finally get things to bounce their way. And it was just, I don't know, it was something else. Leading into this series too, Coach Carr for the Ice Bears called the Rail Yard Dogs a dirty team, and there was a little trash talking going on. And then I think I've seen something where Sherwood said that his stitches were off and he was going to fight for every pound of flesh he can get. So a little trash talk heading into this one, and I don't know if that turned into bulletin board material by the Knoxville head coach calling Roanoke a dirty team or not. But dirty or not, call it what it is. Knoxville's the one at home right now, and Roanoke's getting ready to take on the Havoc, and we all know how that happened last time those 2 teams played, and it didn't look good for the Havoc. I don't know. We'll see if they can do it again. But that was the upset. I don't care if you don't think it was an upset. When an 8 seed beats a 1 seed, that's an upset. I don't care how you look at it, in what direction. That's how it went down. So the other series, the last series, another team I kept telling everybody to watch out for, the Pensacola Ice Flyers. They weren't able to pull it off. It was a 3-game series, but man, did Peoria score some goals. This team, everybody's, they get all their goals because they played Vermilion County, and Vermilion County doesn't have a defense. Well, Pensacola's a good team. I've been saying it all year long. Other people have been saying they're a pretty good team all year long. And they scored 6 goals at the Pelham Civic Complex. No, I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was actually covering the Knoxville game that night, the Knoxville Roanoke game. So no, I didn't go to that one. I wasn't there. I missed playoff hockey in Birmingham. I'm sorry. I should have probably tried to go to that one, but oh well. I heard it wasn't a big turnout. Go figure. It's the middle of the week. It was a Wednesday night. Pensacola's got a huge fan base, but it's tough to convince them to drive 4 hours up the road to go watch their hockey team and then go back to work Thursday morning. Peoria's pretty far away from Birmingham. Pelham, same general area. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of people. I know some people did make a trip, and kudos to you guys. I'm glad you were there to be able to watch it. But if you were a Pensacola fan, you didn't want to watch it. Peoria stuck it to them early. They went up by 2 goals in the first, added 3 more goals in the second, and then Pensacola started making a comeback. What is this? So let's go over the goals, though. Wisely, Alec Bear. Of course, Alec Bear scored a goal. Why wouldn't he score a goal? He scores them all the time. He's a leading scorer in the league. And then Lord Anthony Grissom, coolest name in the league. And then Jordan Ernst, man, are they happy to have him back. I bet you they're glad the ECHL sent him back down. He might not be, but who knows? He might be. He was on that Pensacola team that won the championship last year. Now he's back in Peoria. He's going to try to take one there. Who knows? Kolzicki, Casey type. He got a goal. And then the third period is where things got interesting. Letourneau scored early, about a minute in for Pensacola. Then Wheelan Parrish got one. What is that? A little over a minute, almost 2 minutes later. But then Mike Laidley scored another one. Kind of the nail in the coffin. Bonarenko got another one for Pensacola, but Peoria just beat the brakes off of them. I don't know what was going on. There was some weird defense played by Pensacola in that one. It's just a lot of guys were out of place. I don't know why, but that just was not a good outing for the Ice Flyers. It wasn't a good look to start things. But nonetheless, Pensacola was ready to rock and roll. They traveled back up the road, not back up the road. They traveled up the road to Peoria to play game 2, looking to force a game 3. They answered the bell. They scored 6 goals of their own. And this one happened with Alec Bear scoring 2 goals right off the bat. 22 seconds in, Bear gets a goal in this one. And then 4:29 in, he gets his second goal. All of a sudden, it's 2-0 Peoria. You got to think the wind's getting sucked out of your sails if you're an Ice Flyer. Nope. Blasix decided he's going to score 2 goals. He says, I will match what you're doing, Alec Bear, and we are going to go into the second period tied up at 2 goals apiece. Letourneau got the only goal in the second. Great power play goal. And then Bondarenko got another one. And then Alec Bear. The dude just scores goals. He got himself a hat trick. And the game's just back and forth. And then Pietrowski gets a goal. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a tie game. Let's see how this goes. Let's see who's going to get the next one. Rex Moe got the next one for the Pensacola Ice Flyers. And then Blasix scored an empty netter late in that one. Pensacola did it. They forced a game 3. Peoria couldn't knock out the team that a lot of those guys played for last year to win the championship. Just quite yet. But game 3, whole different story. Got to bring the notes up. That's why I'm looking down. So Dale Dion scored a goal. Just got the scoring started in this one. And then Letourneau answered back a little bit later. A lot of power play goals in this one. And then Hageman got another goal. Austin Wisely got a goal. So it's 3-1 Peoria going into the third. Not looking good for him. But Wheelan Parrish, he got it back within a goal. But Jordan Ernst sealed the deal late in that period with just over 5 minutes to go. And they gave the Ice Flyers all the opportunity in the world. From the second to the third period, they gave the Ice Flyers 5 power plays. 5 power plays. Pensacola was only able to convert on 1. So the Ice Flyers had every chance in the world to get back in this one, tie this one up, take a lead. The power play just couldn't convert. Peoria's penalty kill proved to be too much. Peoria's moving on. So all you people say that they were going to get swept in the first round, you look as dumb as me saying Birmingham was going to go to the finals this year. Sorry, I had to say it. But you're in good company with me anyways. But that's how that went. That is how it all went down in week 1. I don't think there was I think the only upset was probably Knoxville getting beat. I don't think anybody really considers Quad City, Fayetteville an upset. There were the 2 teams right next to each other in the standings for a good portion of the year. I don't think that was an upset. But now, looking ahead, we got Peoria in Quad City playing. And let me pull this up. I'm going to pull it up. Yep, that's what I'm doing while I'm sitting on here. I'm going to pull up the playoff schedule. I should have had the SPHL's website up when I did this. There we go. All right. So the way it's going to go down, as I already said, Huntsville's playing Roanoke. I don't know. Last time that happened, Roanoke took care of business against the Havoc in the Rocket City. So they know they can win there. They know they can match up against them well. Can they do it again? I don't know. I'm not even going to make predictions because I'll just look like a fool. No, actually, this is what my prediction is going to be. And I'm sorry if it goes wrong because all of my predictions go wrong. So I apologize in advance, Real Yard Dog fans, but I got Roanoke in 3 in this one. That's going to be my prediction. I got to make bold predictions. That's so you guys can make fun of me. You can leave comments down there on the YouTube page about how I that didn't age well and all that stuff I see all the time. Go ahead. I don't care. It didn't age well. Nothing I says ages well. I sound like a fool half the time I'm talking. But that series is starting out this Thursday. So tomorrow, for those of you listening the day this dropped, and it will be in Roanoke. That's where the first game is going to be. 7:05 start time, and then they're going to go to Huntsville to finish the series off. And the Saturday, Sunday game. So you got that Friday off for a travel day, and that's how that one's going to break down. It's going to be a fun matchup. I am really excited for this matchup. I'm actually really excited for both matchups because both of them have a lot. Because Huntsville and Roanoke, like I said, towards the end of the season, Roanoke went into Huntsville and took care of business. Huntsville has something to prove. They probably will because I said Roanoke's going to win the series. But who knows? Who knows? Either way, I win. I win because it's hockey. I get to watch it. I get to talk about it. I get to write about it. It's all fun and games. Next up, the other series, Peoria Quad City. These two have played each other. It is the Cold War on 74. We know Peoria won the season series. But Quad City is not the Quad City Storm of the past, and they can play with Peoria, and they know them. These two teams know each other very, very well. So it's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun series. It's starting out in Quad City on Wednesday night. Another one of those dang Wednesday night games. But good thing is Moline and Peoria are fairly close. So Quad City fans are probably going to be able to make the trip down there and still be able to go to work on Thursday morning. Hopefully they do. Or I said that backwards. Peoria fans will be able to make the trip to Quad City and watch that game. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But then Friday night, so they get 2 travel days. The closest series gets 2 travel days. I know it probably has to do with ice scheduling and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how they do it. I don't work at the league office. I don't work for the front office of any of these teams, but I'm sure there's a very good reason that these two teams that are a short distance away from each other get 2 days off in between game 1 and game 2. Friday night in Peoria, Saturday night in Peoria. So we'll only have overlap 1 game this weekend, which is awesome for me because that means I get to watch all this stuff. It's really hard to watch 2 games at once. I tried it this last week. It doesn't work so good. It really doesn't. It's just you're watching one and then you miss the other one. And then how do you watch it? I'm watching one on the screen that I'm talking to you on. And then I got a TV up here. And you got to have sound on one and you can't have it on both. It's just tough. It's tough. I pulled it off, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. But yeah, so, and this one, you want me to make a prediction? Let's see. I don't know how to pick this one. I'm going to go with the underdogs because I'm going to say Quad City. I don't know. I haven't seen the Vegas odds. I wonder if there is Vegas odds. I'm going to Google that. We're going to look this up right now. Vegas odds, SPHL playoffs. Let's see. That doesn't even pull anything up. Money puck. No, I don't care about Calgary, Colorado, and Toronto. No, I guess there's no betting on the SPHL. No, we need to get a team back there in Mississippi and Biloxi. Oh, there's going to be a Fed team down there. We get one down there, we can get a sports book going on the SPHL. I guess I would have to say the odds makers probably got Peoria favored there. They are the number 3 seed, but Quad City's the 5 seed. I don't know. I'm going to say underdogs. I'm going to go underdogs this week and say Quad City and Roanoke will be playing in the finals, and that will be an awesome series to watch too because both of those teams love to get penalties. It's fun. It would be fun. But, Peoria Huntsville would be fun too. We've seen that one before. Both teams can score a lot of goals. I mean, all these teams can score a lot of goals. They've showed that. But that's going to be my stupid pick. You guys can tell me it didn't age well, or I could tell you I told you so next week on the podcast. I probably won't tell you I told you so because I don't like to get cocky because it makes it even worse when I'm wrong. So that's what we're looking at. It's going to be great. I am really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fun. I think both series have potential to go to 3 games. I don't know. I don't think Huntsville can do a sweep. I don't think Peoria can do another sweep. I just think at this point in the playoffs, you're in the semifinals, there's so much on the line. Not to say that there wasn't so much on the line last week, but you're that much closer to the finals. The games are going to be a little bit tighter. The pressure's on, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I think you guys should watch them all, and on Saturday watch both games at the same time because they're essentially starting at the same time. No, because the Huntsville game is going to start at 7, and the Peoria it's starting at 7:15. So you get a 15-minute overlap. So you can watch them both. Do it. Try it. It'll be fun. Trust me. And then you guys can come on here next week and we can talk about it. Maybe I'll bring somebody else on. Maybe I'll get Joel Silverberg to come on because he currently doesn't have a lot of I can't say that. That's mean. I love Joel. He's a great guy. And I love the Ice Bears. I can't say that, but it was already halfway out. I was going to say, since he doesn't have a whole lot going on this weekend, he could probably watch these games and then come and talk about it with me next week. Sorry, Joel. I hope you're not listening to this podcast. Somebody will probably tell on me, but maybe I can get you to come on next week and we can do a little talk. Or maybe I can get Mitch Stewart to come on if Roanoke wins and he can help me tell you guys I told you so. Or anybody else. Anybody but me. I'm sure you guys would love anybody but me. But that's it. That's all I got for you this week. This one was short and sweet. No player guests. I'm not going to bug the players. They got playoff prep to go. Maybe I'll bug a player next week. Who knows? But that's all I got for you. This was exciting. Playoff hockey. It sucks that we only got 2 more weekends to go. And I'm going to try to do something for you guys in the off season. I'm going to try to keep this thing going. I don't know if it's going to stay weekly. It may be bi-weekly, maybe monthly. I don't know how it's all going to work out, but there's not a whole lot to talk about in the SPHL. We don't got, a draft coming up like the NHL does in the off season. There's not a lot to talk about, player protected lists. That's definitely something to talk about, but we'll work it out. And what I want you guys to do, since we got 2 more weeks to go, is I want you to go down in that little comment section if you're watching on YouTube, and I want you to tell me, what do you want to hear about in the off season? What would you like to go? And a lot of podcasts, like even NHL podcasts, they'll do like a best of season, best of, that's what they'll do in the slow time. I mean, I can do that. I can put together some of these interviews and I can throw that to you, but it's going to be really hard to pick a best of because I think all the interviews are great because these guys are all awesome. So it's going to be tough. I mean, who do I leave out? But I don't know. You guys tell me what you want. Plus, here's another thing with a podcast. When you do a best of, it's a collaboration of all these together. But if you wanted to hear that interview again, it's a podcast. You can just go on, fieldpasshockey.com or the app, and you can find that podcast and listen to that interview if you wanted to hear it again. You come here because you want to hear new stuff, is my guess. So tell me what you want to hear this off season. We'll talk about it. You want me to try to find some old SPHL players and try to bring them in and get some conversation going with some guys that are retired from the league? Let me know who. Just give me some ideas here. I want to know what you want to listen to, so you keep listening to the podcast. That's all I'm asking. But that's enough. That's enough from me. I hope you guys enjoyed last weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this weekend's playoffs. It's going to be a blast, and I will see you again next week. Until next time.
You've been listening to the Inside the SPHL podcast. Got a topic you'd like discussed? Follow James on Twitter @FPHBulls. For the latest news on the SPHL and the rest of minor league hockey, download the Field Pass Hockey app, now available in the Apple and Android app stores.